You're listening to CobraCast.
The cobra injects deadly venom through its fangs, like toxins through a pair of hypodermics.
This is the CobraCast, and here's your host, Bobby Sharron.
Please welcome to episode number 331 of the CobraCast podcast on a special Tuesday afternoon edition. I don't think I've ever done it like this before in the daylight. It's kind of weird. There's sun outside my window here. Anyways, the Metal Byrds are here. We're going to talk. We're going to play some music, and I'm just so glad to have you guys. So thank you so much for doing this. I know it's a little bit of... Oh, no problem.
Thanks for having us.
No problem, man. So, Suzanne and Sly Rye. Rye. I gotta, before we go, I gotta ask about that name. I gotta ask about the nickname, Sly Rye. That's like the coolest name ever. It sounds like a pimp. You sound like a pimp from like Brooklyn or some shit with that name.
I was originally from Detroit as a child.
Okay.
And we lived off of Sly Avenue, and nothing good happens there.
So they just called you Sly Rye.
Yeah.
So you so Detroit. So what do you call it? You sound like one of the Kid Rock posse or something with that name. So I'm just kidding. I was fucking with you.
He should have been, I think.
But I'm like that bumper sticker that says, "I wasn't born here, but I got as fast as I could."
So I know, what do you call it? Suzanne, you're from England, right?
Yes, I am. As you can
I saw
tell.
the Union Jack in the back. Nice. I mean, you don't have an accent or anything. So you've been...
No, I've been over here for quite a while. When you're a kid and you come over here and other kids are mean and they make fun of you, you lose your accent pretty fast.
Tell them one of the fun stories about that. Those are great.
When I first came, I had a thick Cockney accent. I'm from West London, so I had a thick Cockney accent, and I would say butter, water, things like that. And the kids were like, "What language are you speaking? We don't understand you." And it was like, I was like, I'm speaking English, but they just couldn't understand my accent. So I lost it pretty fast, I would have to say.
Yeah, you totally lost it.
But I can turn it on just like that. You know?
I'm from up north, like Connecticut, Jersey, New York area, and when I came down here, I sounded like Andrew Dice Clay, if you know who that is. I sounded just like him, and I mean, I would say certain words, and people down here were,
they get confused really easily, and it's like, I need to change the way I speak.
No, they thought they kind of treated me as like a character because they thought because it was so heavy at the time, and it was I got I'm not from New York per se, but I grew up with a lot of people that that were say Italians or whatever, a big heavy population, and it's just the way we talked, So when I came down here, it was a major culture shock because everybody in Austin is so nice, and up there it's a whole different kind of story. It's a whole,
That's true. I actually grew up in Baltimore, so
okay.
I'm East Coast girl too, so I get it. People in Texas I've only been in Texas for 6 years now, and they're so much nicer than the East Coast.
Yeah, I'm hitting my shit. Next year will be 30 years. Oh my God, I can't believe it's been that long. It's like. It's when you get to my age, you think about death a lot more,
Right.
It's like, man, I'm 52 now. How did that happen?
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like Jesus.
Look good for 52, though.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just I tell everybody it looks great on the outside. It's the inside that's falling apart.
Right.
Oh, so with the Metal Byrds, how long's the band been around for?
Oh my gosh, we've been around for 3 years now, but we've been doing our own originals for the last 2.
Okay.
So yeah, we're pretty new.
2019, so a year.
Yeah.
It's only been a year? So a year for originals.
Yeah, a year for. We didn't know Indie World existed. We didn't know that we just thought we would play and have a good time, have a few drinks, and we were told if you get into Indie World, they'll play your tunes on the radio. You can sell your music. Had no idea.
We were like, what? How do you do that? We were like dummies, and it's been a fun ride for the last, year. You're right.
So I'm not really familiar with Indie World. What exactly is that?
Like the indie radio station.
Okay.
The indie charting and.
All right, I know what you're talking about. Because there's all these different groups now. I mean, I don't know if it's an actual franchise or something or else, or because I know a lot of people that when South by comes in, they have like an indie fest that they do, or did.
Yeah, it did.
No, I don't know what's going to happen this year. I think this year's going to be like we were talking about it last night, and I think South by is going to be streamed this year. So I don't know.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, wasn't ACL streamed or?
Yeah, the weird thing about ACL, not to dig too hard into it, was so with the pandemic, their idea was to stream it. They were going to set up a channel on YouTube, but they were going to do a pay-per-view kind of thing. So you would have to pay some kind of money to pretty much watch a bunch of clips from shows you probably already paid to go to in the first place. Yeah. And then that didn't work out, so they just streamed the best of on YouTube for free, and that was the whole thing, from what I understand. I mean,
any way to make a buck, I guess.
Well, no, but I mean, the demand was so low for that, the streaming, paying for the streaming thing, that they just said, well, forget it. No one's going to pay for this. They already paid $150, $200 for wristbands over the years. What are they going to pay this shit for? So
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do for South by this year. I have no clue. Oh my God.
We hope it turns out great, just because we want to see live music come back.
Oh, I know.
And,
yeah, I actually went out first. For the first time in a while up in Georgetown, and what we're talking about is, I think so where do you guys like? Where's your home base for gigs? I mean, like, what clubs do you guys play?
We only had a chance to play out a few times.
Okay.
Between Cedar Creek, Bastrop, and I had a chance to go to England to stomp for gigs there. And as soon as I got back and told Suzanne, the pandemic was in full swing, and she couldn't get back to England to secure the deals, and we had nowhere place to play.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, if you get over,
we had originally like this whole summer lined up, and it fell apart, and it sucks.
Yeah, it did for everybody. So you're not, everybody's in the same big boat, like a Noah's Ark over here with a just bunch of musicians in it, just floating around with nothing to do. Yeah, but anyways, up here, there's a lot of new clubs opening up where I'm at, and I honestly think that the club scene, what's going to happen is, I think the Austin, music scene, like those iconic venues on 6th Street and a little bit off, I think those are going to probably drop off, and I think the main scene is just going to be all the little towns around Austin. That's what I really think, because I'll tell you, when I was out Friday night, I was going to check out a band called Backbones. They're like a R&B funk band, and I don't know if you guys ever been to 1-to-1 Bar. They recently closed it. Yeah, it's over off of, where it's off of North Lamar, or was, but the Saxon Pub's over there, and Continental's close to that. Yeah. So, but it reminds me of that vibe, and it's a brand new club over here in Georgetown. I mean, it's really nice, and it's, but they got a great stage, great PA. So a lot of the, I think they're trying to rebuild in different spots in Central Texas. So, it's going to come back.
Yeah.
So
how many people were at that show? Was it pretty big?
Well, the weird thing about it was, it was set up like a dinner theater. Like they would have tables, and they had like these like little number holders and had like a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, sort of like you're in Las Vegas at a Frank Sinatra gig or something, you know. but the place was packed. I mean, I'm not saying they sold it out, but I think I don't know what capacity is, maybe 50% of that club, but every table was filled. You know.
Wow, that's
yeah. So
that's
I mean, there's hope. There's hope, you know. So you're all. So did you guys form the band in Austin, or was it outside of Austin? And you moved here, or how did it work?
East Austin, out by the Circuit of the Americas.
Oh shit!
There's a property out there that was connected to some people, and asked if we wanted to jam out there. So that's how we got out there into the country, right on the edge.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So how did you?
The first time I met Rye was out there, and he was just like, he was singing and playing, and I was like, oh yeah, I can sing, I guess. And he was like, okay, well, come up and sing. And I started singing, and it was like, oh, we need to form a band.
But she could do all the Axl parts and Sweet Child of Mine and Rocket Queen.
Oh, there you go.
Do all the Axl parts. It's like, oh yeah, we need to jam together again.
Yeah.
So you guys are just like, so you start off as a cover band and just kind of worked all the originals in then.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it though. I mean, you build up a following as a cover band and then, you know, you just work your originals in.
Absolutely. So we were like, you know what? Screw covers. We're going to do our own songs. I was like, he had tons of ideas. And I was like, those are great. I could put words to those. And we just started writing. And we were like, these songs are pretty good. I think we could do something with them. And we have. That's
the thing. I think we've reached our limits on cover bands in this town. So it's like, you know, it's like, if I hear Jesse's Girl or you give love a bad name one more fucking time, I'm going to hurt somebody.
Yes.
You know? No offense to anybody who does. I always joke about it because Jesse's Girl is that one tune that if Rick Springfield gets a nickel from every time a cover band plays it, I mean, he could retire. You know what I mean? So
he would be like the world's richest man, I think.
He's pretty rich, but I mean, I'll tell you what. Yeah, the cover band thing is like, you know, it's great. I mean, especially right now, because the only bands that are really playing out are cover bands, you know?
Yeah.
So but like I said, I saw an original band the other night. I was happy. It was cool. We all had a good time because they're friends of mine, the Great Backbones. Awesome. So yeah, we'll have to get you guys up here and look for some gigs up here.
Yes, please, Bobby. We need that. That would be a blast.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know if you know about the towns like at Hutto and Taylor. They all have their own little music scenes in Round Rock, all popping up. Like, you know, just it reminds me of like old school Austin from like the 90s. Well, for me, it's old school. You know what I mean? So, but the clubs are nice. They're not all dirty and grungy. You know, they're brand new and they got nice equipment and stuff, and guys that know how to do sound and you know that kind of stuff.
That's the key. The guys who know how to do sound.
Yeah, that always works. Hey, since we only got a couple of minutes, let's play a song real quick. I'm not trying to rush or anything. I just want to make sure that Sly Rye gets out of here on time. So, did they call you Sly Rye over at work or what?
Yes. Ever since we've been doing this, now it's all Sly Rye. Everything.
I'm like the only one that calls him Rye still.
But you need to get like merch made with that and stuff. You know, that'd be cool.
I was telling him he needs his own like guitar Sly Rye picks or something cool. You know, when he flicks it out.
You don't have picks?
Someday, if Suzanne gets them for me.
I'm working on them.
Okay, I got to set this thing real fast, and then we're gonna. Okay, good. Now we can get rid of this. Okay, good. I don't. The funny thing about this today, I've never set up an episode so quick in my life. So I rolled in here about 3:15, and usually it takes me about an hour and 15 to get it all set up because I'm running a bunch of programs. Today I'm just like, you know, I'm just trying to get it rolling to get you guys on and stuff. So I know we got a heavy duty schedule. Hey, did you guys vote today? Did you guys go out and vote?
Early voting.
Yes.
Nice.
Early voting.
Beautiful. Got to check that out. Make sure everybody goes out and vote.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So this first tune, let's play that. What is it? The Ganges?
Yes, the Ganges.
Nice.
Or the Ganges.
Oh, it's the Ganges. I suck with pronouncing people's names and songs or whatever. So I'm just, I'm doing my best over here. So
Well, in England, they say the ganges.
The ganges, like the weed. You talking like pot? The ganja?
Oh, the river.
The ganja?
The river.
Okay. All right. They call it the ganja. I know they smoke a lot of weed over there, right?
Yeah, they do.
They smoke a lot of weed everywhere these days. So what the hell does that matter, right?
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
All right, let's hit this tune. Here, the ganges. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
All right, people.
Do we have to mute?
Damn, that makes me want to break stuff.
Woo!
I feel like getting a baseball bat, start breaking shit with after listening to that.
Ah!
I'm sitting up here. I don't have to work tomorrow, so I'm sitting up here having a cocktail. So I hope you don't mind.
Oh,
Oh,
I might do the same later.
yeah. Well, I have my main sponsor is Iron Wolf Ranch and Distillery, and they give me, a bunch of spirits once a month to have on the podcast. And if you've watched some of these, some of the people partake way too much. So they went through.
When we come over, we're gonna partake.
Yeah. I think I had an episode was it last week? They actually drank 2 bottles. 2 bottles of bourbon. It was crazy. I'm like, man, you guys are animals. I mean, I'm not in that mode anymore, you know?
Yeah.
It's just,
Well, it does help when you don't have to work the next day. Right?
yeah. So I'm off tomorrow. I got a bunch of stuff to do. So, have you guys been like rehearsing during the pandemic at all? Or are you just kind of just chilling out, or what's your schedule these days?
No, we've been concentrating on writing new songs. That's what we feel like we have the time to turn out songs, so we've been writing songs. That's what we've been doing.
Any rehearsing at all, or just kind of?
No, both.
Yeah, both. It's a little.
Next week, we're all at Suzanne's house for rehearsal and to try to record some stuff to see if we can go any farther with these new tunes.
Yeah. Very
cool. Yeah, because my thing is I'm kind of weaving in and out with the, opening the studio back up and doing Zoom episodes because, I don't blame anybody for not wanting to come up here and do an episode. I'd say, hey, either do Zoom or we could just do the studio. I have no problem with either. Yeah. So it's, it's a tough time right now with everybody because I guess we got another wave coming back in.
Yeah, and I know it's getting bad again.
So, yeah. So the thing with me is there's a few people that I work with had it. I've known people that, that had family members die from it. It's really scary,
Same here. Yeah. It's terrifying.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah. My uncle died from it. I've had cousins have a lot of people at work have had it. It's scary.
Sorry to hear about your uncle. Was he here or is he in England?
No, he was actually in Minneapolis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a lot of family from England sprinkled over here, or just kind of?
Yeah, they're sprinkled. I have family.
I don't know the word to use.
Yeah, well, it's the truth. I have family in America. I have family in Canada. I have family in England. I have family in a lot of family in Trinidad. That's where my.
Oh wow! Really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Beach party 21. Beach party 2021.
That's going to be the hot spot. Probably a hot spot right now, I would think.
Yes, they're completely shut down.
Oh, are they really?
The whole island. No one can come in. No one can go out. They don't have any flights in, so no one can.
Oh my God!
No one can visit. So when my uncle died, none of the family could come up to America to do anything for him.
Yeah,
so it was his daughter. That was it.
Yeah, I know. People have lost, parents and stuff where they couldn't be with them in not convalescent home, but a nursing home. Can't have funerals, can't do anything because of it all. It's really sad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really hoping that they get this whole thing under wraps so we can kind of get back out and start living life again. But on the safe tip, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, well, we want it to be over because we need to go back to England so we can set up some dates to play. That was the whole thing of him going at first. So we want to play.
We play here. We got to go to England for. You got to fly.
They want to hear us.
You got to fly all the way out to England to play. You can't play here.
Of course we could play here, but we want to play in England too. They apparently the English love us.
You know what's really crazy about that? Because with the podcast, I get really big numbers from England. England,
they rock.
England and Ireland. I don't know what I don't know what it is about those two countries, but man, they're just like I go every month and I'm like, man, there's a lot of people listening to this over there.
They love music.
I think it's more because it's the Austin thing, Also, you hear Austin bands on it and everything else. So hopefully we can get this. This will be over there. They can watch you guys on here, and they're, we want to play England. Forget Austin. We don't care about Texas. I'm only kidding.
That's horrible.
No, it's not.
We want a bigger Texas presence, but like I said, slam the brakes on every idea we had. So we just started going to all the indie stations or whatever we could do to get spins.
I'll tell you what, though, right now it's a really creative time for everybody because you see so many people online either, Zooming their stuff from their living rooms or setting up little shows. And I think it's really great. But, so when the scene finally comes back, I don't think any of that stuff's going to go away.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I think everybody's going to be, hey, we don't have a gig on Saturday night, man. Let's just set up a Zoom and with a tip jar. Let's make some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's that's just gonna last forever. So it's
a whole new perspective on the music scene. It's great.
We have the technology.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it works.
Now, how is the record companies and the big corporates, how are they going to get their hands in there to make money? Because they don't miss a trick, right? So what do you see the record companies doing for this? How are they going to make more? Because they will make more somehow.
Well, I mean, they're not. I mean, right now, I mean, I'm not, and really know much about the major labels. I mean, they're probably just living off of, stream money, advertisement money for streams. And then another thing too is, I mean, there's a lot of like product is moving now because people are at their houses, they're buying vinyl, they're buying, CDs. I mean, the cassette market's been booming. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Somebody actually came up here, this band called Knives. They came up about a month ago and they actually gave me a cassette of their band.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Where's it at? I'll show it to you real fast.
Do you have a tape player? A cassette player?
So here's the cassette, and they actually had
That's awesome.
They actually had it made. It's like red.
Wow.
They gave me two of them. I have one that's open. But yeah, I actually have a cassette player in the corner. It's a boombox that I have in here that when I get stuff like this, I can play it.
So we were thinking about doing some cassettes and some vinyl. We really were, because it's so, I don't want to say retro because
I think all media is becoming retro. It's sad.
To actually have like a physical something,
Yeah, I'm all about CDs, and I love, actually.
I see.
Yeah.
There.
Well, that's only part of it. I got the other part, in the other part of the house. I can't fit it all in here. This place is turning into like a museum in here of just stuff, Pretty soon I'm going to be sitting on flyers and CDs and stuff. And yeah, so it's weird. We were talking about doing another studio up here, because I'm going to probably one of these days I'm going to redo this place. This is the second studio I've had, and I think the next one's going to be really clean. It's going to be super clean with nothing on the walls or nothing. It's going to be.
Oh, but it's great seeing like CDs and music.
It
it's
is.
great.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's weird. It's weird with the media because, like I said, he handed me a cassette, and I was like, "Oh, this is crazy cassette." I said it's the first cassette I've seen like in 20 years. Honestly, I was like going, "That's pretty crazy looking, man." I forgot what these things even looked like, and it's red and it's cool, But but so supposedly. I think in 2019, I tell the story all the time because it just makes me, I'm kind of shaking my head or going like this like a dog does, that they sold, this is like, it's not blank cassettes. It's just cassettes by bands that actually put them out. It was like 100,000, they sold 100,000 cassettes in 2019. I don't know what the 2020 number is yet, but.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys are into Marilyn Manson at all, but his new album. Yeah, well, his new album came out, right? And he's selling vinyl, he's selling CDs, he's selling cassettes of it. And I was like, wow, that's the first like major label guy that I've seen that's actually putting cassettes back out. Yeah. So there's got to be a market for it,
There, I think that there is, because all of the medias are coming back. They said vinyl outsold CDs for the first time, and
yeah, that was a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. It's great to have media like that back. I just bought a record player not too long ago to have in my house, just because I have all these records sitting around that I haven't listened to in decades, right? Decades.
Yeah.
Not to say how old I am, but yeah.
Well, there's a lot of local bands that want to put that stuff out, but for a local band, it's just too pricey,
Yeah.
Yes.
So they can't go out. I mean, they can do a limited run of like 20 or something, I mean, it's like, because you end up selling them for like $25 at least, I would think. I don't know what it really costs to make a vinyl record for a local band to kind of go in and what the costs are.
Oh, it's expensive. I've looked into it.
Have you really?
Yes, unfortunately. And the more that you make, the less it costs.
Oh, of course, yeah. But then you got.
I don't have $1,000 to spend on 100 vinyl.
Yeah, but then you got to move them too. It's like, can you find people to buy them? That's the thing.
Yeah, true.
So.
True.
So like the England gigs, is England a hot spot for you guys? It
really is.
You have like a lot of fans over there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because
Tell him, Ryan.
No.
Yeah, he's asking.
Go ahead. No, I was just wondering.
Like, it's unbelievable when we first put our music out there. The first, I guess, people people to react were the British, and they were like, we can't get enough of the Metal Byrds. Like when we put our first EP out, the one with Double Crossed on it, they just ate it up like it was the first time they ever heard music before, and we were shocked. We were completely taken back.
Completely shocked. They called us classic rock, retro punk or something.
That's crazy.
And we've had a big following in England ever since we started releasing our music out, and it's great.
Yeah, I know bands from here that like they get a lot of traction in England and over in Europe and stuff, because I mean I guess they're just hungry for good American music. I don't know what the local scene over there looks like. I have no clue. I know, when I was growing up, it was all punk rock and stuff over in England. I have no clue what it is now, but maybe it's turning more metal now or hard rock or something.
When I was a kid, there's still a lot of pop in England. It's a dividing line. Like in America, the divide is vast between pop and rap and hip hop and
right.
rock. And there it's vast, but people still love good music more than I would say Americans.
Well, you know why? Because Americans are spoiled. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the British are not picky, so they hear anything that they like and they just immediately grab onto it, and they really seem to dig us. So I was shocked because I love going home.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing with America. There's so much music. There's so many bands. There's so many artists that it's tough. It's tough to fit into the American market because there's so much.
It's so saturated with everyone who thinks that they're, it's oversaturated, and the British market 100%. Is less. Yeah, it's less saturation. So when they hear something good, they're just like, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too. A lot of bands don't put their stuff over in England either, even though it's like on, So you put your music over there? I mean, because you're from there, was it a conscious decision? Like you put on kind of just aimed it at England?
We were told by a promoter on one of the songs they could get a lot of play out of a song we have called Dreaming, mm-hmm. and they're going to pitch it all through the UK first. And at one point, we were third worldwide on indie radio, like Indie Alliance Radio, with that song, all because of their push in England.
Yeah.
We're in Texas. I don't know anybody that's even heard the song here.
I listened to all the stuff last week, so But the weird thing about it is all the European bands they try to break in America. That's the thing. We need to break in America. If we can break, because there's so many bands that they're huge over in Europe and Japan and Australia, right. But they can't break America.
Right.
So it's.
I think America is the toughest market in the world because everybody good makes it here, right? So
I wouldn't go that far.
I wouldn't go that far either.
I wouldn't go that far. There's a lot. Let me tell you something. With the record companies these days, they find something. I don't know. I'm not saying the music's getting progressively worse, but
I would say that. I would say that. Music is getting progressive. But you don't have bands that make it. You don't have bands that last. You have one-hit wonders, and then you don't hear about anybody anymore, and it sucks.
Yeah. Well, I know, but
what happened? I would say that.
No, there's for rock bands that actually still play their stuff. I'm not talking about like Lizzo or Cardi B and that stuff. No, because the record companies, what they do is they find something like a Lizzo or a Cardi B. They know it's on that hip hop, tip or whatever. Let's push these guys out here and see if it sticks. You know what I mean? And that stuff to me is like, I very highly doubt you're going to hear a Cardi B song on the radio 20 or 30 or 40 years from now. But
absolutely not.
But you will hear an Aerosmith song, an AC/DC song, a fucking Led Zeppelin song for the next 1,000 years. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And you'll hear it from that same station that has the monument to Bobby Sharron, from his show back in the 20, you know what I mean? The giant statue monument.
Giant. Huge.
Bronze statue.
Monstrous.
Yes. bronze.
I want a gold one. I think it'd be all blinged out. That'd be kind of cool. I want a bling.
Oh
I want a
my
bling
God.
statue. No, but honestly though, if my thing, what I started doing recently is because I'm old school. I love old school music, and I grew up at a time when music was fantastic. I think when it hit like 80, I don't know. I call it the skinny tie era. Like right when, probably like the middle 80s when it was all Hall & Oates with the little keyboards and little Casio keyboard music, what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I was like kind of going, fuck,
I'm sorry, I laughed so hard.
No, but I'm like, yeah, it's like these little, little Casio keyboards. If you listen to all the Hall & Oates stuff from back then.
Yeah.
Nothing but
I remember that.
Nothing but hits. But I'm a big fan of old school Rod Stewart back in the day, like in the 60s and 70s. But then it was a thing where he had all the Casio keyboards. I was like, man, I got to tap out on this guy now. I'm all done, But it was sketchy. But there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of great music. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, I grew up in that time. The 60s music, the 70s music, part of the 80s. For the metal stuff in the 80s was good. But we grew up in that time when there was. All the classic shit came out,
Yeah.
I mean,
and you still hear it everywhere. You still hear it everywhere you go.
Yeah, I mean, I was driving home from it. I put on, what do you call it, the radio on, and you hear a song like, fucking "Dream On" by Aerosmith. Man, that song's like 45, 50 years old, and they're still playing it.
Yeah.
But
that's what we want to write. We want a pile of those kind of songs.
Yeah. So, anyways,
rock.
Yeah. So, anyways, to end the story up, what I started doing is because I want to try to be more in tune with the new music. You know what I mean? So I actually put on I think a Lizzo record. I put a Lizzo record on about maybe 2 weeks ago, and I said, man, you know what? This is what's sort of happening right now. Let me listen to it, and kind of maybe there might be some parts that I like.
And
just not for me.
I don't even know. I don't. I know Rye doesn't. We don't listen to hip hop.
Well, I was just kind of try, but
yeah.
So at the end of my review, I put #horrific. So I don't know. Hey man, we only got a couple more minutes, and I want to make sure you guys out it. So let's play this other song here, "Double Cross." I love this song. This is a great song.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's crank this up, and then we'll have a couple minutes, and then we'll all skedaddle out of here and watch the election results on our TVs.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be bad. But,
I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to be that bad. We'll see.
We hope that,
Yeah.
I'm just sick of the commercials.
Oh, no shit, huh?
Commercial.
We have that chick. Was it Hagar?
Yeah.
The one on the big girl on the motorcycle. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I love the one where she drives into her house, and she throws her jacket and it just falls right on top of the hanger. It's like, and then she walks by her husband, which is he's a lot smaller. And it looks like she kicks his ass once a day at least, because she's like,
yes,
you know what I mean?
I'm sure she does. I'm sure she does.
She reminds me of, man. What I told my girlfriend what she reminds me of. I can't remember, but it was pretty bad. He looks like a linebacker, man. But that commercial comes on. She has 3 or 4 of them. They come on. It's like every 10 minutes those commercials are on. So
yes.
I can't stand those commercials. We can't wait till it's over tonight.
Yeah, well, after tonight it'll be over, but we probably won't know the results till Thursday. So
yeah,
right.
I think the whole country's in anticipation of this result. So.
All right. Anything about the song "Double Crossed" before we rock it out?
This is one of my
I wrote that one about 6 years ago, and Suzanne was going through all my songs, and she said, "Why aren't we doing this?" And I said, "Well, sing it. Let me hear what you've got." She sang it, and with the higher part, I was like, "Now it's a song."
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's kick it.
Awesome.
Damn, if I had a bat, this room would be destroyed right now.
We're just trying to bring back rock that actually rocks.
That fucking rocks, man. I'm telling you, that stuff rocks big time. I love it. Sly Rye on the guitar.
Yes.
Well, hey, it's almost it's like 5 till 5. Or no, is it 5 till 5? You got to get here right now. So thank you so much. I know it was short. We had a blast. Man, you need to come up in the studio. We'll do it up right.
Absolutely, we
thank
will.
you.
Yes.
But thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me today. I got to do one thing real quick. Hang out just for a second. I got to play a commercial from my sponsor, Iron Wolf Ranch and Distillery. We'll be back in about 30 seconds.
Yes.
Check out our friends at Iron Wolf Ranch and Distillery in the beautiful hill country just down the road in Spicewood.
Go there for cocktails, live music, and fun times. Plus, grab a bottle to go.
They're family and dog friendly with 15 acres of games and hill country views, award-winning craft spirits. They have it all.
Bring your pack. It's a really cool vibe. There's something for everyone.
Ask for Iron Wolf at local bars and restaurants. Check them out online and social media.
Iron Wolf Ranch and Distillery, bold spirits, Texas attitude.
We're back. Any last words?
Iron Wolf, yeah.
Iron Wolf, they're great. You know, when we come up there to the studio, we'll give you a heads up. We'll get up there and we're Iron Wolfing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna Iron Wolf it.
Speaking of really fast, I know you got to go. We have an event this weekend. It's November 7th over at Iron Wolf. My buddy Tony Park from 333 and Push Monkey. It's his 50th birthday. So we are going to go up
happy
there.
Happy birthday, Tony.
Yeah. And the Big 5-0. Wow. The Big 5-0. But anyways.
I saw Push Monkey years ago. I've seen him a couple times in Austin.
Yeah, he's a good buddy of mine. So anyways, he's in a band called
cool.
He's in a band called 333. And 333 is going to go up there and play like 3 acoustic sets. Andrea Marie is also going to be up there doing an acoustic thing. And we're going to be recording episode number 333 of the podcast with 333 live at the distillery. So it's gonna, it's the weird how everything kind of lined up. But yeah, this Saturday we're starting at noon. I think Andrea Marie starts at like 1 to 3, and then the 333 boys do from like 4 to 8, and we're gonna weave a couple of podcasts in between. So
can't wait to check that podcast.
When is Suzanne going to get a chance to say something like, follow us on Facebook and YouTube?
We're going to do that right now. Social media. No, seriously, that was the next thing.
Oh,
okay.
I got it on my list. Yeah, because it's on my list. Social media. Where can people find you guys at?
Absolutely. We're on Twitter at themetalbirds.com. Facebook, we're at the Metal Byrds Band. And on YouTube, you can search The Metal Byrds. And you can also go to our website, www.themetalbirds.com. And remember, it's birds with a Y, not an I. Y.
Dare to be different. That's good. All right, I'm going to let you guys go because I know Sly Rye's got to get out of here and go to work. So thank you so much for doing this. We'll have to get you back in the studio.
That was a blast.
No problem, man. It'll be 10 times more fun when you come up. Trust me.
Yeah,
trust me.
Absolutely.
Get an Uber. You're going to need it. All right.
Thank you, Bobby.
All right. Hold on one second. I got to play something really quick and end this thing.
Okay.